Aren't multiplayer games great? Coming together with your friends or people you don't even know to have a fun experience filled with cooperation, leadership, a solid game plan, and
you just don't get it. Yep, I'll kill 4 people.
Okay, things don't always go so smoothly. You know you always want to win, but realistically that's not gonna happen. No matter how well you play, shit can always go wrong, and I'm sorry people, sometimes it may be your fault as much as you don't want to admit it. In several popular games out there, matches can go for a considerable amount of time and become real slugfest, so you really want to make sure you don't fuck it up. It can get really stressful when one mistake can cost you the game, so yes, emotions may flare pretty negatively. Don't worry, I take no moral high ground here, as I'm certainly not immune to such triggering. Just recently I was on a losing streak in Dota with 2 of the games in a row lasting for over an hour. Let's just say my composure may not have been stable. It's funny how silly we can get in these sort of situations because our sense of logic can fly right out the window, especially if we're the ones to make a mistake or let the team down. We try and concoct some sort of scenario where the fault wasn't our own, or even sometimes try and shift the blame onto someone else.
Where is my team? Holy fucking shit! Fuck you, I'm going to bed.
We don't want to look bad. The hardest thing to say can simply be, I fucked up. Relative to this, the Dunning-Kruger effect has become synonymous with online games. Now, if you haven't heard of this, it's essentially when someone overestimates their own skill. Wait, let me say the official definition so I sound more credible. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which low ability individuals suffer from illusory superiority, mistakenly assessing their ability as much higher than it really is. This can also lead to them not being able to properly gauge the skill of others. You can see how this sort of thing may lead to adversity in games within a team environment. When things get super serious business and matchmaking rating or MMR comes into play, you are gonna see some shit. This pretty much assigns a number or rank with a player that indicates their skill level, which can be compared to other players for some solid EP and cred. This rating goes up when you win and down when you lose in some sort of competitive mode, so outside of a tournament environment, this is as serious as regular players are going to get. I wouldn't say the system is perfect, but in my experience it provides a fair judgment of where you're at with the game skill-wise. The goal for most will be to climb to a higher ranking to garner a sense of accomplishment and show improvement, which is nice to have in a game. Unfortunately, with this heightened sense of ambition comes greater backlash upon the shortcomings of yourself or others on your team, which can break down the whole dynamic and lead to some hefty arguments. I've been in this situation plenty of times, and let me tell you, it's going to lead to a lot more losses than wins. It creates an aura of negativity and you just don't feel good playing the game anymore. These sort of ratings bring out the Dunning-Kruger effect quite evidently when there's paid services that boost your MMR or ranking to higher than you've personally been able to achieve, or if you can't be screwed with that, you can flat out just buy a higher rated account. Obviously this presents a problem when there's players in brackets that significantly exceed their abilities, so they will do poorly and essentially ruin the game for the players who got to their bracket honestly. It's become so prevalent in Dota 2 that calling someone an account buyer is a common insult for players underperforming.
Is MMR really an indicator that you are a good player?
Yep,
no,
it is.
Jesus.
If your MMR is not good and you're like, oh, I'm in the trench. Newsflash, you're not good.
But you know, it's not all pain and misery. We play games to achieve that horrid thing called fun. The high of a win can outweigh the drain of a loss, which keeps us coming back to them. Improvement and doing well in games is very gratifying as we invest a lot of time in playing them. If you often opt to play with strangers, then it can be a luck of the draw sometimes when it comes to their general attitudes. Some people are just assholes and there's no real way around it.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Okay, good, valid points.
As games can be quite frustrating, they bring out the worst in people, and I'm certainly not immune to this. However, if you spend too long worrying about how the others on your team are doing rather than focusing on your own game, then it's only going to drag your individual performance down and make you more open to mistakes. The most common complaints you'll see after a loss is, my team was bad, or X player was a retard.
Oh, you're so bad, it's unbelievable. Raging. No, shut up, you're fucking retarded.
But you never see anyone complain about getting carried or having an easy game, because ultimately winning is the only thing that matters. Overwatch tried quelling these sort of accusations by not letting you see how well any other player in the game is doing, only yourself in comparison to your team. This doesn't really do much to stop toxicity, because now people will just make assumptions on who is playing bad during a losing game, mostly based on a hero pick they don't approve of.
If the Genji pick isn't working, you're not going to switch, so we've already resigned ourselves to probably losing.
Dude, you know what you can do? You can eat my dick and shut the fuck up talking to me.
I personally much prefer having a scoreboard, not so much to rail my team if I think someone is playing bad, but more to see how I'm matching up to the opposing team's performance. Oh yeah, they also tried not letting you type GG easy in all chat. Yeah, that That really helps. Being fair, even the best players out there have bad games, so a certain degree of empathy needs to be applied, as I'm sure you've had your fair share too. Much like attitudes, there's not a lot you can do about people playing poorly on purpose for whatever reason.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Just report them if the game has such a function and move on. Similarly, if they're overbearingly toxic communication-wise, just mute them. This sure beats having a heated argument while you're trying to play. There's plenty of people so ingrained in their opinions with games that they won't entertain the idea of being given advice from someone else.
We're way too fucking slow. Just trust me, I'm fucking better than all of you. You have to listen to me, Earthshaker, like right away. I'm much fucking better than you.
I'm not trying to sound preachy or be all like,
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
you know, it's not like you can always keep a sunshine and happiness demeanor, but if you find yourself more often frustrated, angry, or drained, especially after a few losses, then you have to think about why you're playing the game in the first place. When you're emotionally tilted, chasing after that win will just put you in a worse state. The win itself may not even be that satisfying. If I'm to be completely blunt, if you feel stuck within a skill bracket range in a game and tend to lean more to blaming your team for losses amongst all else, then the problem might be... you.
It's not true. That's impossible! No!
It may suck to be in an average or below average bracket, but if you don't put a conscious effort into improving and adopt bad habits, then the results will generally stay the same. Having a strong individual performance will overall help your team succeed. It's rarely ever going to be an even contribution from each member, so the more you're able to do, the less weight it puts on the others. So yes, a lot of this has come from personal experience with online games over a long period of time. I've been no saint, let me assure you, but as I continually see the same excuses or sense the same negative feelings coming on during games, there has to be some degree of self-reflection. It can be cathartic to let out some of your anger in games, especially after hard losses, but ultimately it won't change the outcome. You just need to reorient yourself and only look at the loss as a means to understanding your mistakes to grant yourself a better chance at winning the next one. Or just get really drunk before you play games. Then you just won't care anymore. Huh, I guess that makes this whole video kinda pointless.